Welcome all to AK Bio Lecture Series. This class is the continuation of the discussion about different chromosome banding techniques. In the previous class, we discussed about different classes of banding and Q banding or quinacrine banding in detail. If you don't know about Q banding, then watch previous class in this channel. Conventional cytogenetic techniques are used routinely to determine numerical chromosomal abnormalities or structural rearrangements, mainly translocations, in any given cell type. For example, it can be used for detecting genomic aberrations, including both gains and losses of segments of the genome and rearrangements within and between chromosomes. So, what about the resolution of standard cytogenetic techniques? Actually, what is resolution? Resolution means just shortest distance between 2 points on a specimen that can still be distinguished by the observer. That is the resolution. The resolution of standard cytogenetic techniques remained limited with a count of approximately 400 to 500 bands per haplod genome. We will study the advanced cytogenetic techniques such as high resolution banding in coming classes. Okay, anyway, this class explains the Giemsa staining and Giemsa trypsin banding. Giemsa is the most commonly used stain in cytogenetic analysis. Staining a metaphase chromosome with a Giemsa stain after the treatment with trypsin is referred to as G banding. Unlike Q banding, most G banding techniques requires pre-treatment or pre-treating with salt or proteolytic enzymes such as trypsin for a very few seconds depending upon the concentration of the trypsin we are using. Why we use trypsin here? Trypsin is the enzyme that digests the proteins. We know the metaphase chromosome is highly condensed in nature. Actually, the proteins such as histones and different scaffolding proteins compact the DNA tightly. But there is a clear difference in the level of compaction in euchromatin and heterochromatin region of the chromosome. So, the action of trypsin will also be different in euchromatin and heterochromatin regions. We will see the details in the end of this lecture. In Q banding, there is no such pre-treatment steps. I hope you know the procedure of Q banding. If you don't know, please watch last video explaining the same. G banding is also called GTG banding. Actually, GTG banding refers to the process in which G banding is preceded by treating chromosomes with trypsin. Before staining or banding procedure, typically cultured cells are arrested at the metaphase stage by colzamide or colchicine. Subsequently, the cells are fixed and placed on a slide followed by staining with the chemical dye Giemsa after proteolytic enzyme treatment, that is trypsin treatment. The Giemsa dye generates distinct chromosome specific pattern called G bands. G banding preferentially stains the region of DNA that are rich in adenine and thymine, that is heterochromatin region, and remain dark in color. The region of the chromosome that are rich in guanine and cytosine, that is euchromatin region, have little affinity for the dye and remain light in color. The dark band is also called G positive band and light band is also called G negative band. The Giemsa dye can map structural aberrations clearly and is a commonly used staining method for analyzing chromosome. Standard G band staining allow between 400 to 600 bands to be seen on metaphase chromosome. With high resolution G banding, as many as 2000 different bands have been catalogued on the 24 human chromosomes. G banding allows each chromosome to be identified by its characteristic banding pattern. G banding has been divided into regions, bands and subbands. We will discuss the details of the naming of the bands in coming classes. Next, let's look into the mechanism of action of Giemsa stain. How it results with dark and light bands, or why only AT rich regions, not GC rich regions in dark color. I already mentioned that in GTG banding, the slides with the chromosomes will first treat with the trypsin for few seconds, then only we will transfer the slides into a Giemsa stain. So, the combination of trypsin and Giemsa act differently at different sites of the chromosome beautifully. It is highly associated with the compaction of the DNA as well. In heterochromatin region, that is the AT rich region of the DNA is well condensed when compared with the euchromatin, that is GC rich region. The level of compaction at each point of the chromosome is directly proportional to the quantity of associated proteins in each region of the chromosome. When we treat the fixed slides with the trypsin, what happens is that because of the maximum level of compaction at the heterochromatin region, trypsin cannot digest the proteins well. But in the case of euchromatinized region, already the quantity of the histones and scaffolding proteins is very less compared with the heterochromatinized region of the chromosome. So, what happens is that the trypsin can easily cleave and digest the proteins in euchromatin area. So, in heterochromatin region, that is AT rich area, adenine thymine rich area, actually AT rich area means adenine thymine rich area, the concentration of scaffolding proteins is high when compared with the euchromatin region. So, in heterochromatin region, that is AT rich area, it take more Giemsa stain than GC rich region. How the intake or deposition of Giemsa stain is related with the protein concentration at various sites of the chromosome? How it is related? Here comes the significance of the composition of Giemsa stain. Interaction of the DNA with thiosin and eosin component of Giemsa stain brightens the sulfur-rich regions of the chromosomes. From where the sulfur is coming in chromosome? Actually, sulfur is not part of DNA, but it is part of proteins that are associated with chromosomes. How? To get the answer, refer the structure of amino acids. Here I am not discussing the details of amino acids. If you don't know the details, you can refer web or books for the details of sulfur containing amino acids. So, due to the presence of higher concentration of partially digested proteins in heterochromatin region, that is AT rich region, thiosin and eosin component of Giemsa stain brightens this sulfur rich regions of the chromosome than the GC rich regions. Actually, the fixatives used in standard chromosome preparation methods, that is methanol acetic acid solution in 3:1 ratio, removes some of the histone proteins. It is the degradation of the non-histone proteins that appears to be critical for the production of G bands, not the histone proteins. This is all about GTG banding. In the next class, we will discuss other banding patterns in detail. Hope everyone understood the topic well. Thank you.